Good morning, pregame crew. It is Thursday, September 1st, 2022, 8:22 a.m. Eastern, 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm Charkel Lori here at the pregame show, and we do stock market preparation for the day. Welcome, welcome. If you're tuning in later in the day, you may want to fast forward to 6:30 here in this far right corner. In about 7 minutes is where I'll get started with the whole lineup of indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day. Between now and then, I'll do an audio visual check, say hello to my friends, do a few chart requests. Good morning. Thank you, Night Truck. Good morning. Hey, Andre, Greg, Graham, Paul, Matthew, Mal, Yup, Roger, Bonjour, Basque, Mary, Casey, Eli, good morning. Hey, Carlos. Oh, I wish I could say that. Buongiorno. Hi, Anu. Hi, Ian. Hi, Roger. The AV is in the hood, Roger. Hey, Mike, Adam. I'm going to mute myself for a little cough real quick. Good morning. Good morning. How are ya? Yeah, Matthew, I don't chart UVixy on anything higher than a 15-minute time frame because of the decay, but VIX is looking for a weekly lower high. We know this. We hit a 50% retrace from the high of June 13th to the low of August 8th. And take that off. So we are looking for a lower high. On the daily, this is healthy, but look at these upper wicks of bears selling into these pops. We've made a daily higher low at 27.69. So we'll see how it goes from here. We're in a 4-hour EQ. So when we buy options same week expiry and we start going sideways, which we have with VIX, it becomes a problem. I understand we're up 2.5% right now, but when we go sideways, that theta decay just eats at us. So I understand your expiration is tomorrow. So I would look to take profit at open, at least scale out a sum, because you should be up this morning. But just be cautious with those. UVixy calls are like the last thing on earth I would ever buy. It doesn't mean it won't work. It doesn't mean it won't work. But it's a tough trade. One of the higher probability trades that we have out there is UVixy puts or selling UVixy calls, which can be dangerous. But UVixy puts long term, I mean, let's look at UVixy on a long-term chart. And just by the way, I have a new keyboard, an ergonomic one, and a new ergonomic mouse. I'm not quite used to them today, so if I'm clunkier than usual and clicking around and typing, that's why. Look at this ski slope. It's just reverse split after reverse split after reverse split. Look at this monthly chart. So I understand you're doing same week, totally different strategy, but just something to remind yourself of when you are looking at UVixy long. It's a great hedge if you have a long-term portfolio, but it's just not my style. I definitely have a bias toward VIX, a negative bias. I was part of the XIV debacle in February 2018. I got caught in that. So VIX is not my thing. I like reading it for signals, but not trading it. Okay. Hey, Sharon. Good morning. You're welcome. Hey, Manifest, Andre, Richard, Mike, Adam. Perfect. HBK, ATAI, you into the shrooms. And also I've ordered another mouse that doesn't have that loud click because I understand these little kinks because I need some help with my hands. I type so much. So I am looking for solutions. All right, ATAI, we had an inside bar. If you watched Dan's market recap video yesterday, he pointed out, and it was thanks to Bennett. Bennett pointed out in our marijuana and psychedelic room that there was a ETF sector, a psychedelic ETF sector that was forced to liquidate some or all of its holdings, and that impacted the mushroom sector on August 30th. So that's part of the reason that big red candle. So a 4-hour lower high is anticipated here. If I wanted to be a bull here, which it makes sense, you have enough room for a higher low compared to 420, I would look for a pullback to buy. Support 445, 441, and of course the low of day yesterday, 428. Hey Hop, I love your vibe. All right. Hi, Gary. Hey, Danny Z. I have time for one more ticker. We have jobless claims here in 3 minutes. Just as a reminder, this is the jobs number we get every Thursday. I believe we have another more important jobs number. Not that everything is important with the market, but we have an important one tomorrow. Let me look at that on another screen. Tomorrow, 8:30. Yeah, we have payrolls, non-farm payrolls tomorrow. So that is definitely will impact or could impact the market a lot more than today's just weekly standard jobless claims. And we have nat gas inventory today at 10:30 in case I forget to mention that later. And also the Hang Seng was down 1.79% overnight, and DAX is currently down 1%. So it is bouncing. The DAX is recovering nicely, but we have red in international markets this morning. Perfect. Thank you, Andre. Yeah, I will. You know what? It does say that I'm having some type of, that YouTube is not receiving enough video. I have no dropped frames, so I'll just keep going. Hopefully everything else is okay. Y'all let me know because I'll have to reboot. It's 6:29. Y'all want to get started? UEC. Let me do UEC real quick. Uranium name. This is not what you want to see. You don't want to see you get that higher high, peak above and fail with that upper wick of profit taking, and it's just complete selling on that pop up. You don't want to see that. These long lower wicks are welcomed, but the long upper wicks are not welcomed as a bull. Nice sideways action, 439 support, and then 420 resistance, 465 double top. You got that double top yesterday, and bears sold into that. You're fighting to hold the hourly MA here. On the daily, even though I'm picking on this candle, everything's okay structurally. You have enough room for a daily high or low. Structurally. That is not a good word for a Louisiana girl to be saying. Oh, shoot. Let me see if there's anything else that I can change. Again, I am not having any. Okay. I'm just going to keep plugging along because I don't see anything else that I can do besides a reboot. So if I get 4 or 5 more of you that say that, then I may have to reboot. Y'all want me to get started? Let's do it. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and you're at the pregame show, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow at Chart Gal Lori, that would be great and appreciated. And what I do here every morning is I go over the indices, commodities, crypto, movers, and shakers of the day. I have some notes that are off screen that I share with the TCG members when I'm done. I type all these notes out just to keep me on the straight and narrow and organized as much as my brain can be organized. We have a problem this morning. Houston, we have a problem, and it's the semiconductors. We have an issue with the U.S. restricting what type of processors we can sell to international markets. Right now it's China, but there's implications for Russia as well. They don't want to sell them the really high-end processors that could help them with AI, artificial intelligence. So that's what I understood from CNBC this morning. So just take what I said about why with a grain of salt. Bottom line is we have headline news that are impacting semiconductors. And say it with me, class, semiconductors are the fuel to the market engine. So ES has an uphill battle this morning with semiconductors bearish headwinds. Okay. Oh, sorry, Plan. The Nightbot deleted your statement. Yo, Lori and crew, because it was in all caps. The Nightbot is just very sensitive, has very sensitive feelings. All right, on ES, we lost the daily 50 MA. So I just want to frame the market for us. Sorry about the white screen. This is for the swing report. I do this, and I also posted this on Twitter. But we had this daily head and shoulders. We talked about it last Friday. And then the daily head and shoulders confirmed. And I said there were 2 key supports and or targets for the bears. The first one was the 50 MA at $400.33. That didn't even slow down the bulls, the bears. I think of it like the crash dummy test. You crash into a wall. The 50 MA should have acted like a wall and made the bears pause, and it didn't. The next level we have is 38995. That is where that dark pool level is. That dark pool level, 11.62 billion at 389.95. Just for ease of rolling off my tongue, let's just call it 390. 390 should act as a synthetic support for the market, and it's actually a real support because we have a daily low over here of 389.95. That 389.95 level, it came out over here or June, whichever. The dark pool level was over in here, and then it acted as support on July 26th. I'm looking for it to potentially act as support again if we get that close. The measured move is down here at 388.80 something. What that is. Yeah, the high, let's call it 389. So we have the dark pool the dark pool level at 390, and we have the measured move of the head and shoulders at 389. So with those two levels in mind, I'm looking for that to potentially prop up the market a little bit. All right, so we have support on the hourly at 3921, and that's the overnight low, and the bounce high this morning, 3948. So I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to show you the fibs. So we got to keep the weekly in mind. We are approaching the 0.618 support on the market, 3902. Again, a synthetic support, not a pivot level, 3900. Just 1 second. Okay, so the 0.618 support is around 3,900. And what this means is we've retraced about 60% of the move, the huge move up that we had. We've pulled back a lot, and let's call it due to the Jackson Hole incident. We have pulled back dramatically. So now on the next pop up, bears will be looking to scout any type of bounce because a lower high is anticipated compared to this 4327. So the bears definitely have control of this chart. I'm looking for a bounce. So we're weekly higher low scouting. We're not in a weekly uptrend. And I want to keep emphasizing this. We are not in a weekly uptrend. So a 4-hour oversold is not a guarantee of that weekly higher low being put in. 6 hours oversold. At what level? And 12 hours oversold. So aggressive, super aggressive bulls will look to, if we should be gapping down this morning on this gap down, if we can flush hard, some aggressive bulls are looking for a 5-minute higher high, higher low trend change for a potential long entry. But again, uphill battle today. Totally uphill. So I could discuss fibs. I discussed RSI patterns, price patterns, moving averages, EMAs, dark pool, Ichimoku, RSI, TTM squeeze. But remember, all of these indicators are just displaying what's happening under the hood of the market. What's happening under the hood of the market is buys and sells. People are buying and people are selling. And that all is just depicted on this chart in different ways. Candles aren't real. It's what is used to display and depict what's happening under the hood. So a lot of times I'll say 389.95. That's that dark pool level. What's a dark pool? That's where an institution stepped up and bought and or sold, which it was both, a huge chunk of, I don't want to say shares because it's an ETF, a huge chunk of shares. So at that level, there was a level that someone deemed super important. So we typically expect price to bounce there. But just remember, when we're having these little squibble squabbles over these nuances of the chart, is this an inverse head and shoulders pattern? Is this the Elliott wave retrace? Remember, what matters is where buyers and sellers stepped up and said, this level matters to me. It's too high, so I'm going to sell. It's too low, so I'm going to buy. That is the most important, which is price action, just pure price action. And that's what we teach at TCG is price action, nothing fancy. We do use the same words over and over, like most likely scenario, low or high, high or low. But regardless of that, it is just depicting price action. And we're attempting to establish probabilities. And right now, with the size of this pullback on ES, the probability is a lower high on a bounce. Bears will be looking to top fish. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation as to what all these colors mean. My oscillator down here, this is the TTM squeeze that I use, and I use RSI. But you can also look on our YouTube channel. There's a video created by Jungle Funk that shows how you can set up your chart if interested in like Dan or mine. All right. I want to talk about SPY, that 389.95 level. That's what I wanted to talk about. Went over that. NASDAQ on any bounce, we're looking for a lower high. However, NASDAQ led this bounce this morning. So on the hourly, we had an hourly trend change. But when we zoom out, it's a potential 4-hour bear flag. And we know with bear flag and bull flags, we have the tendency for these fake breakout or breakdowns. And those are just opportunities in this point for the bear flag for bears to step in. This hourly trend change without follow through, slamming into the EMA with the upper wick of bears selling into it was just an opportunity to jump in on this 4-hour bear flag action. Again, y'all bear with me on my typing. This ergonomic keyboard is new to me, so I will get used to it. All right. Good morning, Luciano. Thank you for being here. Okay, so NASDAQ did lead the bounce. RTY, the bounce was much weaker. However, if we look at RTY on the fibs, we've only retraced 50% of the weekly move, unlike NASDAQ and ES, where we retraced approximately 60% of the move. RTY is just 50%. So an EQ is on the table, but they could possibly take that high out with a higher high on the next move up. It would be highly unlikely with NASDAQ setting up for a lower high. However, yesterday I was picking on the Russell. This morning I'm picking on the Russell. But if I zoom out, I do have to acknowledge these bulls have been holding off the bears a little bit better than the other indices. So your resistance here, 1836, we got a double top there. We did not get an hourly trend change. Again, these bears are much stronger here on RTY than they are on other indices. NASDAQ led the way for that little bounce earlier. And we're going to have a hard time with a bounce today without the semiconductors being the wind beneath our wings. All right, so on the hourly, we have a double top, 31462, 31464. We have support, 31311. And on the weekly, if we look at the retrace, look at how weak YM is. We're approaching the golden pocket at 31251, and we hit 311. So we missed the golden pocket with $60 overnight. That is a much more exaggerated sell-off on the weekly than it is on the Russell. So we're expecting a lower high on a bounce. Just look at these EMAs. If it wouldn't cause me a headache of having to take all these indicators off, I would. Look at how these EMAs are just pointing down sharply. When you have these kinks in the EMA where it's just a slam, the 8 slammed into the 21 and then a 45-degree angle down, it just shows that bear momentum, which we can obviously see that in price. It's just a confirmation of the bears are large and in charge. Okay, VIX, we went over that earlier. Aw, Fred, that's nice. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. I was doing yoga last night. I started a new yoga class, and the teacher at the end was saying what our purpose here on life is to show love, compassion, the blah, 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 all this other wonderful stuff. And I'm like, that's why I love what I do, is I feel like I help people. That's my perception. I do get nice feedback. I also get bad feedback here and there where people are kind of nasty, but they're just unhappy people in general. But I do love what I do. And my goal here is, like Kramer says, my goal here is not just to simply entertain you. And I'm like, I've never been entertained by you, Kramer, not one time. But my goal is not to entertain you. My goal is to help you. If you happen to be entertained, that's just the bonus plan. So we have an hourly double bottom. We have enough room for hourly high or low. Man, the market bulls want to see this 4-hour EQ roll over on VIX. Market bulls want to see this absolutely to the downside, but bulls have control of this chart. US 10-year, this is a problem. This is a major problem. So we're up here at resistance here. Okay, that's a wonderful line, Lori. Lord have mercy. 3258, that is a double top area. Market bulls want to see this sit down. We need the US 10-year to chill the heck out. Sit down, take a breather. This is a headwind, a huge headwind for the market. Look at that. Oh, and it's through resistance. As long as this is charging up like it is, the market's going to have a problem. The semiconductors and US 10-year are the real thorns in the side for US 10-year, 3.317. Andrew. Again, Hang Seng was down 1.79. DAX is down 1% currently. What is the DAX doing on shorter term timeframes? Potential bear flag. So this little bounce and recovery on the DAX, it looks like an hourly bear flag. You can tell by this 15-minute potential rising wedge not getting a lot of follow through. Bitcoin, nice hourly bounce. We have enough room for an hourly higher low. It's not guaranteed. Support at 19,800, 19,751, and resistance at 20125 and 20205. And was it Ethereum that had that more? Yeah, Ethereum had such a clear falling wedge look to me this morning on the hourly. However, we are forming an hourly lower high. We have enough room for a higher low. Whoops. We have enough room for a higher low. Support 1530, 1528, resistance 1586. I know I share my notes with just TCG members, but I'm just going to copy what I wrote here on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes, US 10-year is a futures product. You can trade it via the futures. Okay. So on Bitcoin, and if you want to screenshot this, the second daily inside bar is forming. We have a 4-hour EQ forming as well. Hourly downtrend. Ethereum, daily lower high anticipated. Hourly falling wedge pattern attempting a bounce, and that bounce is getting rejected currently. Let's go back and look at Bitcoin and look at that daily double D. Holding? Yeah, it's holding. So we do have double daily inside bars. This one, of course, is forming. It's not guaranteed today. It would have to close inside yesterday's range to be a confirmed inside bar. We can see that we're getting dominated by that 8 EMA. Bulls really want to see a bounce over 20582, and that would make room for a potential daily higher low. We need to get up in this area in order to make room for a daily higher low compared to 19513. Gold. All right, gold. I have some bad words I could say about gold, but just know this is ugly. This is bad. Let's go look at the dollar before I start badgering gold. So the dollar has this daily cup and handle pattern that confirmed without a lot of follow through yet, but this is a nice trampoline pattern that's forming right here. Look at this squeeze. That's a massive squeeze. Look at this RSI. So let me type out for y'all. Here's our problem. SMH headwind with bear news. US 10-year is looking skippy. Headwind for market. Dollar strength. Here's the 3 things working against any bounce attempt by the market bulls today. Here's the 3 things that are working against them. The glimmer of hope for bulls is that weekly chart and 12-hour oversold. yet not in an uptrend. So oversold conditions don't necessarily give great location for scouting that weekly high or low. So I keep saying I'm not going to share my notes with the public, and I just keep giving you the notes. I just love you. All right, so back to hating on gold. All right, we're 4 hour oversold. Daily oversold yet? Almost 31. Weekly high or low is possible compared to 1678, but with this bear momentum, look at the slope of those EMAs. With this bear momentum, it's not guaranteed. I would definitely be looking for a bottom fish against 1678 because we've got that double bottom here. Not that. Need that. We've got this double bottom here at 1677 and 1678. But remember, every time we tap on that glass, we're depleting supply at that area. And those buyers are finally going to say, I'm just stepping away from the bid because I'm obviously going to be able to get it cheaper with this momentum to the downside. So if you can buy gold at 1650, why would you step up and buy it at 1670? Look at these hits in the 1670 area. So bears have control of this chart, and they should maintain control of this chart as long as the dollar has the pep in its step. Oil. Fred, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Don't even worry about it. All right, oil. Just because I teach technical analysis, I promise I never want to hold myself out there to be a wonderful, great, clean trader. I make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. I enter too soon. I exit too soon. I make mistakes. There are some mistakes that I don't allow myself to make anymore, like risk management and stop losses. Sometimes I let things go just a little bit more than I should, but 99% of the time I stick to my guns on stop losses. That's the area that has to be tight. You have to be like clean, clean, clean. It's like getting in your car, as Dan says, putting on your seatbelt. You wouldn't dare get in your car and not put your seatbelt on. So it's the same thing with using stop losses. I'm disciplined there. But I definitely have room for improvement in so many areas in trading, and I work on it every day, and I accept that it's going to be a journey and a perpetual process for the rest of my life. I will always be looking to improve my trading. So with that being said, this was a big mistake on my part. I posted in the room on this day that we had a daily trend change to the upside, but we were approaching that daily 50 MA. And I was looking for an initial rejection. So at the time, the daily MA was at 97.41. It hit 97.37. And the next day, it had a peak above and fell. We know commodities have those peak above and fails. We know that. That would have been a 5-figure trade. And I'm not a woulda, coulda, shoulda girl. What I like to do is just look at this. That's 1,054 ticks. That's mega big money in oil. But I do like to look back and say, okay, next time I have that type of conviction, hold it, short it and hold it. I had conviction on that, and the bulls never gave the bears a reason to exit once that rejection at that daily 50 MA. And here is another one that I'm also was studying last night, saying, why did I do that? I've been talking to y'all. I would venture to say I was really early on with this daily head and shoulders pattern recognition. I was pretty early to the party on this one. I was calling it back over here when it hit 167.24. Look for potential daily head and shoulders. I did not swing puts. I bought puts. I scalped this trade, but this was a large opportunity for potential downtrend. The measured move is down here around 138. The measured move on this measurement from this left shoulder neckline to the top of the head, that's around 137. When we see these clear patterns like we have on SPY, I was telling y'all last week, we got a head and shoulders. I did not hold that short on SPY. So I know you're probably wondering, why am I even listening to this woman teach technical analysis if she can't even trade what she's calling out? I obviously can't trade everything that I call out, but I would say that these three were my heaviest conviction trade setups last week. Nvidia head and shoulders, SPY head and shoulders, and oil rejection at 50 MA. And I'm just thinking, okay, what's off, Lori? Why are you missing this? And why you have to capitalize, or you need to capitalize on these moments. Obviously, I'm in the green. Not obviously, it's not always obvious. I'm in the green. I'm okay. It's just learning moments. Okay, when I see this next time, and it's a muscle. It's a conviction muscle that I flex. And every time I flex it, it gets stronger and stronger every single day. And I get better at things. And this type of pattern that's so clear and obvious, and it was also clear on SMH, just like, okay, next time you see that, Lori, you need to take better advantage of that. Okay. Let me go back. No, I didn't give you levels on oil. We have nat gas inventory today. Don't forget about that. So this is a potential hourly bear flag. Bears are large and in charge. And look at this. Look how well they do at walking down price, yet cooling off the RSI. So they can walk down price and RSI is going sideways. This is the type of grind down that can really hurt a bull trying to buy these dips. They have potential 4-hour tweezer bottom forming on oil. Bulls would be oh so lucky for that to stick. It doesn't look very promising right now. Nat gas. Jam, the blonde in the hoodie is me. It is me. Of course, it looks a little bit better than I look this morning, that picture. But anyway, thank God I don't have to be on screen for this show. 4-hour higher low anticipated on nat gas. It looks to be formed, and the higher low is in place at 902. Your resistance 9284. You have inventory today. What did I write about? Let me go look at my notes real quick. Nat gas, we're in monthly, weekly, uptrends, daily, we're in a downtrend. 4-hour, of course, it's now set that 4-hour higher low. We're finally getting over the hourly EMA. So what bulls want to see before inventory is set that hourly higher low and get an hourly trend change before inventory. Apple. All right, so on Apple, daily 50 MA is below us. You see that at 156.04. We have the daily 50 MA below us. Now, what I'm going to say now is probably contradictory to everything I've said this morning about the bears having control, because they still have control of this chart. But I just want to show you, for just the emphasis on how strong Apple is compared to most other charts. We're looking for a weekly higher low on Apple. Look, we haven't even retraced. We retraced about 40%. So earlier, Russell's retraced only 50%. NASDAQ has retraced 60%. Dow has retraced 65%. Apple, if Apple can get that weekly higher low put in sooner than later, the market could have a chance. So I guess the second glimmer of hope for for the market is not only is VIX looking for a weekly lower high, but Apple, we're looking for the weekly higher low. 4-hour has been oversold for a while, and 12 hours oversold. So 12-hour oversold. We're not in a weekly uptrend, but we got mega real estate for that higher low. So I'm looking for Apple, flush it down. And in this case, it could be, not necessarily, because bulls haven't proven a thing here, nothing honey. But this could be a gap down for buying. We'll see. All right. Amazon, potential hourly bear flag. So Amazon, the gap fill below. So we have this gap fill 12284 below. We have the daily 50 MA at 125.51. So I would want, as an Amazon long, I would want this gap to fill before I would look long. So we'll see if this daily 50 MA can prop up price before that gap fill. But I've been cautioning on Amazon longs for a little bit here because of this gap territory issue. So we have a support over here, artificial at 125, not artificial, it's real. Prior resistance at 125.50 could serve as support, and that matches up with that 50 MA, which is a synthetic support at 125.51. Potential hourly bear flag. I have a problem buying Amazon. until that gap is filled. Thank you. Thank you, kind people. All right, Nvidia had that news about the government restricting their sales. So they're right down here at this support, 144.65. Your next support, 140.55. You are not oversold yet on the daily, but when you open up, you should be oversold. But it really doesn't mean a lot with this type of larger time frame downtrends with potential monthly bear flag. So bulls really want to see 140.55 hold. Bears are just looking for bounces to short at this point. Tesla. Denzi will be live in 3 minutes. I need to go a little bit faster so I can finish up. All right, on Tesla, it's also at the daily 50 MA. So the SPY's lost the daily 50 MA, but the last 3 charts I've gone over, Apple, no, or 2 of the 3, Apple and Amazon and Tesla are right here at that those daily 50 MAs. Could that help the market? Oh, the other one was US 10-year and the dollar. That's the other headwinds for the market. Oh, I was trying to think of never mind. All right, so we're at the daily 50 MA, 4 hours oversold. We're scouting a weekly higher low. So we are in a weekly uptrend. No. Oh. This little flush down here makes it kind of tricky. So let's not say that, but we are looking for a weekly higher low on Tesla. This daily head and shoulders confirmed on Tesla. We're at the daily 50 MA, 26915, 26915. We were oversold in the 4 hour. We're right here at 30. Hourly EMAs are overhead. So the bears are dominating. Bulls trying to buy this dip, the 5-minute trend changes. It's just giving bears opportunities to short on these little bounces and small trend changes. So just be cautious out there. It may be a sit on your hands moment. Why? Because these time frames are so oversold, you don't have a lot of meat on the bone to short. But bulls are giving you no reason to enter, and then you're like stuck. But you're not stuck because you don't have to trade every day. So please remember, don't get a million knife wounds just trying to buy this dip. When bulls, you got to have friends with you on the trade. Crowd, we had an ugly bear candle day yesterday. They gave it all back on their little earnings bounce and then some. I'm looking for bears to potentially top fish any bounce. 184.84 is your resistance. So I would say crowd is a top fish. Meta has mega strength. 161.26. I'm going to use that as a support, not that broker open lower wick. So Mega has had strength. And what we're looking for is a 4 hour potential higher low. Bulls have enough room to do it. So on the hourly, we are above EMAs. This stands out. XLC bulls are happy. This is a lot more strength than the other tech names are seeing. So Meta could be a good dip buy opportunity. MSOS, a first hourly oversold and a daily uptrend. Plenty of room for that daily higher low. So hourly is oversold. So this gap down could be for buying. Your next support is down at 1240 on MSOS, potential long. Potential 15-minute oversold back burner setup with this strength that we've had. It had relative strength in the uranium sector yesterday. So I would be looking for, and I'm saying 15-minute because 5-minute got oversold already during the after hours. So I would look for first 15-minute oversold during regular trading hours for a counter trend scalp. Okay, I am done for the day. No, I'm not. I'm done with the pregame show for the day. I appreciate you being here. Please hit that like button before you exit. Go give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGallery. Here, check us out on chartguys.com. We're a cool group, I promise. All right, thanks for listening and use stop losses.